sorry, we lost our connection here, so my phone keeps cutting out reception, so really sorry about that. Hope that you can rejoin us again. Glenn, do you want to share the new live cross with, on my share it to Andrea's page?
Yeah. Share.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring.
And public, yeah. So we were on the couch here. We're with Sarah again in Cairns, and we are sharing her story in her entrapment in ice addiction and how that was rolling out. So far, here's the story. She met a guy and fell in love with him, and he started to inject her. He didn't look like a typical junkie, what you would consider. She hid it for a year. Still trying to keep work and being a mum balanced in a family home. That very quickly spiraled out of control. She started using during the day and things got messy. She ended up losing a job. And I think the violence kind of started there with the ex. And, violence is part of ice addiction. It depletes your brain of a chemical called serotonin. And on the other side, you've got your dopamine is not being produced. So dopamine actually makes us feel good and happy when we do something that we experience something that's good and nice, and we're in, oh wow, that was awesome. We feel happy, we feel joy. Well, that's dopamine flooding our brain. In ice addiction, dopamine doesn't be produced. It doesn't come out and it doesn't flood your brain. So what happens if you don't feel happy and you don't feel good? You have the opposite effect. So you're stuck in depression and sad and angry. And serotonin depletion sparks up violence and anger and impulse action. Yeah. So those two together are a bomb waiting to happen. Along with that, you don't have the use of the frontal lobe of your brain where logic, rational decisions take place. So you just act on the moment without thinking ahead because you can't. And in anger, in violence and depression and psychosis and anxiety, it's a horrific entrapment. Okay, that's ice world, as we call it.
Yeah.
So we're back here. Is that working now, then?
Well, it's just doing this thing, I don't know.
And that's going live. We have, give us a holler. That's obviously not hooked up to your phone there, Glenn, maybe, with internet. So, Sarah, we were at, you lost your job.
Yes.
Yeah, and then...
And that's where things went down.
Yeah.
I guess.
What happened?
I lost my house. I should say my house, my mum's house.
Wow, you smoked that?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't smoke it, I injected it.
Yeah, oh, that's right, yeah, you injected it. Wow. You got a house in your arms.
And that's something I can never repay Mum, and she doesn't ask me to. My mum has been my rock.
Wow.
She's been very supportive throughout my
loves you.
rehab and everything else.
Yeah.
But first went the car.
Yeah.
The car was taken first.
That's always first, yeah.
And all the jewellery, which I've managed to get back, but there was about $30,000 worth of jewellery that disappeared. And then the house. Yeah. And it just kept going and going and going, and I felt like there was no way out.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I was using just to feel normal. Yeah. Just to get through the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that.
And still 3 years down the track, still chasing that high, which I knew would never come. But I was still chasing it. Yeah.
So tell me, Sarah, what was your family like at that time? Like, did you lose contact with your family? Because I know personally, you hit a lot of people along the way when you're.
I did. Yes.
Destroying yourself.
I lost a really good friend.
Yeah.
Stacey, her name is.
Yeah.
And I believe she's living out of town somewhere now. And me and her were really close.
Wow.
Her son and my daughter were extremely close. We were, joined at the hip, I guess you could say. And she couldn't handle me using.
Seeing you destroy yourself. And not being able to do anything to help you, because it is a helpless situation. When you see somebody you care about destroying themselves, and get involved in crime and prostitution and having mental episodes of psychosis where they're in and out of hospital. It is a desperate situation for the people around, and you can offer support, but when that person is not ready, you don't know what to do, and it's painful, and a lot of times people don't know what to do. So I'm going to speak to you now. If you're that person that I'm talking about, if you're a family member or a friend that has somebody that you care about that's entrapped in ice addiction, we want to help you. We have a clinical family support group. We do online counselling through lived experience trained professionals, So we would like to connect with you. The family support number is 0481 844 555, or you can contact us directly on our webpage, www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au, and send us an email and we'll get somebody to get in touch with you, because we've been through it. The people that are on the phone, that are in the care team, and that are in the family support and clinical services division of trained counsellors and psychologists that are family members that have been through it. They want to connect with you and teach you some of the stuff they learned along the way that can help you and give you some tools to be able to help your loved one. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So that number again is 0481 844 555. Yeah. You lost your best friend, and your mum stuck by you and just kept
and
shagging you.
I have a best friend, Shelley, as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're watching, but I love you.
No, she stuck by you.
She was actually the lady whose house I was at when
Wow.
I ran into my ex, and we've got this thing where she vows that she will never, ever, ever try and set me up with anyone ever again. But she struggled, but she's still there, and she's still here today.
Wow.
And I love her to death.
Wow.
She is amazing. She is an amazing woman.
I still love you unconditionally while you're going through that tribulation, And even though you can't make somebody make a choice to go and step into recovery, but to be there, that when that time comes in the addiction cycle, because everyone reaches it various times through their addiction. But if you happen to be there in contemplation stage, you can, and you're prepared and you have the tools, you can actually put your hand out and say, listen, this is what we have to do, and that makes such a difference to somebody, and it can bring them into recovery very quickly, because you're the one that has a relationship with that person. You're the one that they know that loves them and is standing by and reflecting, hey, this is who you used to be, and I want you back, and you're worth more than this life, and this way,
She would say that a lot to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There were times where we had this fight, and it was intense, and I was so devastated, and she came over the next night and we sat down and we talked, and she opened her heart to me and she said, you're struggling, I can see that you're struggling, please get help, please. And that really touched me.
Wow. Was that the catalyst? Was that the turnaround point?
It was beginning. It was the beginning of.
Wow, started to wake up.
I actually at that point had bought out a bag that was quite full of shards.
Yep.
And I threw it on the grass right in front of her. And I said, this is how much your friendship means to me and our relationship. If it's going to take throwing these drugs away to prove to you how much I love you and how much I want you in my life. And I did. I threw them on the grass. Wow. And she looked at them and I said, you know what, that's not even enough. And I got the hose out and I hosed the grass.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
But I also think that was also a safeguard, because I thought I could go back to it later. Yeah. And I didn't want that temptation. Yeah. So it was gone.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I will admit I used after then. Yep. But I was in that contemplation stage.
Yeah. Now, had she had the tools to go, Sarah, great, fantastic. Let's call the number
Let's do this right now.
Let's walk into detox. Let's go into rehab. And you would have picked up the phone and done it that minute, you see. And that's the difference, guys. The family support team, they want to equip you with tools so that you can help your loved ones to be able to make those steps, okay? Where's your local detox? Where's your local rehab? What's a tripod system of support? What are clear boundaries for somebody that's in addiction? How do you have the conversation of the cost versus the benefits? How do you communicate somebody whose frontal lobe's not working. So, and it is through here. There's no other way, yeah. Somebody that has been through addiction, ice addiction like us, all of us put our hands up to buddy up with people that are contemplating change, yeah, or to have a conversation with perhaps your loved one that might want to talk to somebody that has recovered, and we could show them the way out. Yeah, you may be that person that's contemplating change right now, and I want to say this to you right now, reach out to you and say, please connect with us. We've been there and we've managed to escape the entrapment of hell, yeah, and we know it's a hell. You might think I don't have a problem, but look around you, look at your life. Is that really what you wanted, for your life? I don't know about you, Sarah, but right now I'm so blessed with my life, and I'm so grateful for the second chance at living again, and being impactful, doing something that matters. So anyway, tell me the rest. What happened?
Not too much longer after that, I was arrested.
Wow.
And charged.
Oh wow.
And that night, I came home and my entire life fell apart.
What were you arrested for? Did you have a punch on?
No.
Were you trafficking?
No.
Oh.
It was a white collar crime, that's all.
Okay, alright, so we're not going to go there.
I was stealing for my habit.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was stealing for my habit.
Most people do, and I can understand that. I was in the same place. You got to steal to get the next hit because,
Yeah. And that's when my life, I thought at that time, was over.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had, destroyed my child's life, my mum's life, my own life. I was going to jail. This was it. So I tried to kill myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Sarah. How did you do that?
It was actually the next morning, and that after I got home from the police station, my mind was made up, and I actually had spent that entire night trying to talk myself out of it.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember how much I'd used that night. Snuck out, got a cab to the girlfriend's place, just used, snuck home. And I thought maybe if I got really, really high, then I'd be able to stop myself. And my mum and my daughter woke up the next morning, and my daughter was in my bed. So I actually, once again, I thought, because the whole plan was that I was going to do it in my own bed.
Oh, wow.
And because my daughter was in my bed, I thought, you know what, maybe if I don't go to my bed, I can talk myself out of it. So I went and laid in my daughter's bed. They got up and they were like, you got to go to work, because at this point in time I'd managed to pick up some temp work. You got to go to work. And I said, look, I can't. And Mum was still very angry with me about getting arrested the night before.
Yeah.
So she took my daughter to school, and I had a number of packets of Seroquel at that time.
And Seroquel is?
It's an antipsychotic. It wasn't actually my prescription medication.
Yeah.
But another lady who was using at the time had 250 milligrams Seroquel, so they're very strong.
Wow.
Very strong. And she'd given me a couple of blister packs.
And do they
they knock you out
wow.
Flat.
Oh my goodness.
And it was almost like autopilot, which was so scary for me.
But your brain's not working.
No.
The front of your brain, logic, rational decision
and I was
making
still
wasn't
so
happening.
high from
Wow.
that. I was just,
And you just wanted to stop that.
I just wanted it all to stop.
The merry-go-round of what you were becoming.
Yep.
On this drug, and you can't stop, and you don't know.
So
how to do it.
I locked all the doors. I closed all the curtains. I just poured them all into my hand, and they pretty much filled my hand.
Oh right.
And they went down in one go. And then I sat on the couch.
What were you thinking? You went.
I just wanted it all to stop.
Yeah.
I just wanted it all to go away. That was it. I just wanted it all to go away. And
didn't know how.
I thought that was the only way. And I went to sleep.
Wow. I'm so glad that you're here, Sarah. I'm so glad that your life's been spared. And that you're here with us and being able to help others that are in addiction, create a pathway into recovery. That she's an amazing story, and she's very, very blessed to be here, and alive today. So you woke up in the hospital?
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, the police had to break my door down to get into me, and
Oh wow.
um,
Who found you?
apparently I tried to make a phone call, which I don't remember,
Wow.
and the person on the other end of the phone realised what had happened.
Yep.
I was apparently quite incoherent, called the ambulance to my house,
Wow.
and then obviously the ambulance had to call the police because all the doors were locked. They broke my back door down.
Yep.
And yeah, I woke up in the hospital, and my best friend Shelley was on one side and my mum and my daughter were on the other.
Wow.
And the first words that came out of my mouth was, I need help.
I think you did. You know, I can just imagine your mum, you know, and your best friend seeing you laying there, and you know that you were at a place where you know you wanted it over. You know, you wanted it over, and that you'll do whatever it takes to stop that downward spiral. You know, so I can just imagine the hurt and the heartache that and the desperation they would have felt, and the joy at the same time, saying I need help, because
it was just and the fact that I wasn't supposed to make it. I'd said my goodbyes to my family, and I'd said my goodbyes to myself. I wasn't supposed to make it, and I did.
I think somebody was looking after you there.
And when I woke up, I thought, I need to be here. I need to write this.
Yeah.
I need to make myself better. And when I was offered the opportunity of what they call the IDRO, or the drug court, which they cut, and they're trying to bring it back in at the moment. And I do hope they do, because it saved my life.
What is that? Like, what
IDRO
happens?
is the Intensive Drug Rehabilitation Order.
Right.
Where,
When you go to court?
yeah, you go to court.
Oh, they so need that. Oh my goodness. They so
And
need
they sentence you. You get sentenced, and you get sentenced. And the only time you can be eligible for drug court is if your sentence involves jail time, and if you go through a number of processes where they check that you're actually an addict, and you know they will ask you questions like who do you know and that type of thing, and you get accepted onto the program, and you go to court. It's a 12-month program in 3 stages. Which you get 12 months to complete the program, but each stage is only 3 months.
So what is the program?
The program is
Rehab.
basically it's what they call residential rehab. You do rehab in rather Ozcare, or you do it from home. And obviously we lost the house by then, but Mum said, let's do it. Let's get you into IDRO. Let's get you clean. Let's So I did the IDRO, and it's intense. They give you curfews. They give you random drug testing. They give you courses that you have to do. There are courses that you can do if you want to, and I took everything. There was a CBT course that they did, and I took on that. There was a brain matters course that they offered, and I did that. They make sure you're medicated, so you don't get a massive come down when you're trying to get off. Counselling programs. They give you books and courses, and they keep you busy. They give you,
and you need to be.
If you fail, for example, if you're not home when you need to be home at a certain time, and they used to send a car around to check on you. Or if you fail a drug test, you have to start back at the beginning of that program.
Wow.
So you can be in week 11.
And go back to week 1.
Go back to week 1.
Oh no. So what? They don't do that anymore.
No, they cut it. The government funding
What?
got cut.
That's insane.
And every week we'd all go to court, and we'd all sit in front of the judge, who I can't remember his name, but he was brilliant.
You know what, Sarah? We've worked with a lot of people that reach out for help, and they go, I've got a court issue, and I'm going to go to jail, and what can I do? I want help. I want out of this life, and we're able to put a plan for them in place, and then they end up going to court, and they've already started to rehabilitate their life because they don't want to go to jail.
No.
So I'm so for a court diversion program because the prisons are full of people who are nice, you know.
And you can get drugs in jail.
Oh yeah, that's right. And how many more rehabs do we keep opening? Really, we first need to stop people getting on ice. We have community rehab also that we work with people that, where possible, we put them in a community rehab, and what that looks like is a tripod system of support. Okay, you have an AOD counsellor that you visit 2-3 times a week if you need to. You have a buddy who's your sponsor and a support person, and you go and visit NA or AA or CMA or group therapy, yeah? Or a church. In my case, I didn't initially know about NA or AA. It was, I went into a church, and that was just, the people just loved me back to life. Unconditional love, that's what we need, and the acceptance. And and that tripod system of support, was how I recovered. I didn't get the opportunity to go to rehab. I didn't know nothing about it. Like I thought, I need to get better. What am I going to do? Like I didn't know what to do. I think it would have been a lot easier going into rehab because you have the full support team there, knowing what you're going through. They medicate you. They through the depression dips and stuff, through the early stages of recovery. Like it's horrific, and it's really scary. And without that support around you of people that know what's going on and that can help you through that, it's extremely difficult. Suicide visits you quite often. And I didn't think I was going to make it at times, but I'm glad that there was a system that helped you. But we don't have a lot out there, and our aim is to stop people actually even picking up or even touching this drug. Our message is not even one, so we're speaking to you out there. If you are in addiction, you're contemplating change, we're asking you to reach out to us. Okay, you can send us a message, we can chat on Facebook or on our website. Or you can contact us in the office so we can arrange somebody to come and have a chat with you. That number is 0756656063, and that is our head office number, and we'll connect you with the state that you are in. So we have a team in Melbourne, Victoria. We have a team in Sydney now, also still alive. Awesome. My phone keeps ringing. I do this every Thursday for the last 2 years. But we have a team in Sydney. We've just started an amazing Sydney team. And thank you to the Cairns Rotary, Jeff, Richard and Kathy for bringing us out there and supporting us in the campaign, putting the Freeze on Ice in, throughout Sydney as well. And we have formed a strong team in Sydney, Azza and Angela and all the guys in the Sydney team. We are pumped to actually start rolling out the schools program. So let's get some resources. We're looking for some laptops. We're looking for some volunteers that would like to help us put a forum together. But the Cairns Rotary have been amazing. You guys rock. And so we now have an office in Sydney. We don't have an actual office, we have a team. So we are looking for an office space. If you are from Sydney and you have potentially got an office space that AARC could operate out of, we really want to hear from you, so that's awesome. Business South Australia, yes, they're joining us, and they've partnered up with Australian Anti-Ice campaign in the fight against ice for South Australia. We were down there and we did a white paper for the government. We met some amazing people, and we have partnered up with Business South Australia to make a difference to South Australia and put the Freeze on Ice in that state. They have also offered us offices in Business South Australia, so we're talking to Business New South Wales, Business Victoria, business in all other capital states. We need to unite in this fight against ice, and in unity is how we're going to make a difference. It's a community problem, and we need a community approach. Okay, we can't keep putting government money into more rehab, more detoxes, more frontline workers, more police, more mental health or child safety, and we've actually got to stop people getting on ice. And that is our point here. So we need your help, okay? We are an unfunded charity. We are asking the government to support this at this point in time. We haven't had any funding up till now, and we keep going purely by the community and people in the community support. So if you're a business out there and you want to support, please get in contact with us. But if you're an individual and you want to help us sponsor one child a month, I urge you now to contact us. You can do that on our webpage, www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au, and join the Australian Anti-Ice Campaign Army. And you can help us educate one child every month for only $10 a month. So that helps protect them against the dangers of ice, and just raise awareness on the impact and of all other drugs as well. So Sarah, after you went into rehab, you spent 12 months there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I did it in 10.
Wow.
Graduated in 10 months.
Wow. And what happened when you came out?
I was clean.
Yeah, but you were back in the same community.
I was.
How was that?
Not easy. Not
Did
easy.
you stay clean? Did you relapse?
I stayed clean until I had an incident with a certain person.
Yep.
Where I was taken and I, against my will,
Yep.
he took me to a place and yeah, it got pretty nasty. Didn't want to be there. Contemplated ending it again.
Wow. Wow.
I was allowed outside for a cigarette onto the balcony.
So he hijacked you, he locked you up? Wow. And did he hit you?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Because you were clean?
Yeah. He just...
Wow. And you know, we're not blaming the person here. That's what happens when that person is also using, and the frontal lobe isn't working. They're not thinking logical, rational decisions. A lot of time in psychosis, they're seeing and hearing and feeling things that aren't really there, and they're in a psychotic state. Yeah, and it's another realm of existence. And their actions are fake, and they're based on another reality that's not real. And the serotonin depletion sparks up anger, violence, and on the other side you have depression and sadness, anxiety, and so all of that together is a bomb waiting to happen. So you do really stupid things, that you can end up in jail, in mental health institutes. You can end up hurting and even killing your family members. So that's the behaviour that this drug actually induces somebody to do. So after all that work getting clean, Sarah, you got pinched and you got hijacked and tied up and beat up and oh my goodness. Did you use?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. To be honest, it was... He tried, and during the fight, obviously, I ended up with a lot of bruises and stuff. And to be honest, just to get through, I just thought if I just kind of go along with it, pretended like I wanted to be there, I'd get out alive.
Yeah.
And I did. I just kept thinking about the last 12 months of my life and what I'd gone through and what I'd been able to do in the last 12 months. I thought, no, I'm not going to let you do this to me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let the drug do it to me. I'm not going to let him do it to me. And I got through.
Yeah. And did you run away? Did you stay?
Oh, at the end, funnily enough, at the end, he just kind of let me go.
Wow, that was a miracle in itself.
And so I walked out and, he kissed me and he said he'd talk to me later, and I jumped straight into a taxi and I went straight to the hospital.
Wow. Oh, goodness. And then you started the whole recovery process again?
No, well, I didn't use, this was in April of 2012.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how I see that night.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I've been clean pretty much since December 2011.
Yeah.
That, when I entered my IDRO, that was it for me.
Yeah.
However you want to see that, if you want to call it relapse, call it a relapse. The drug court would have called it relapse.
Yeah.
And punished me for it.
Yeah. Wow.
But it is what it is. It is what it is.
All behind you. So you just kept powering forward with your recovery then, and kept got back to work.
Yes. Went and volunteered with Queensland Injectors Health Network.
Yep.
Met a lot of users there.
Yep.
Then I that was volunteer work, of course. Yep. And then I thought I studied, did my diploma of community services.
Wow.
And then I got offered the job at the hotel, which is where I'm at now.
Wow, what an inspiring story! That you've been able to, through love, I guess, for your family, your friend, the love that you had for your daughter as well. To have that network of support around you, to help you, I guess, it is a struggle, you know, and back to life again, and it's like climbing out of a bowl that you think you're never going to get out, and you know, a lot of times you think I'm just going to give up, but I'm so glad that you.
Me
pushed
too.
through, you know, you're an amazing individual, and I'm honoured to know you.
Thank you.
I just love spending time with you, Sarah, and you are impactful in our community, and as a friend as well. You've really rocked my world, so I thank you.
Thank
you know that you're here with us at AARC. And it is 8:07, and I'm being made aware of that. I just want to put a call out there. You know, if anybody has any questions, put them up now. Yeah, for Sarah. If you have any questions for Sarah, put them up now, or you can keep sending them through, because we will be on our Facebook, and we will be answering any questions for the next hour or so. So if you have any questions, you want to speak to somebody, please reach out. We're here to chat with you. Yeah, Sarah, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Right down the barrel, right? Right down the barrel. If you had one word to describe ice, what would it be?
Death.
Wow, that's impactful. Any last messages for the audience out there?
Just, if you see someone struggling, you can reach out for them.
Yeah.
Get in contact with us. You know, we can.
It's back on again. All right, we just want to end right now with one little what do we call it? Jingle?
Yeah.
What do you call it? Come on. A motto?
Motto, yeah.
A motto? Not even once, but we have something to teach you. You ready, guys? Not even once. Good night, Facebook.
See ya.